And welcome back to Let's Play E7. Last time we fought a rock turtle and learned how to do cool super attacks, and we reported our discovery to the king, who recommended that we go around to the various tribes of Altago, or at least go to the Eldris in Shannoa to see if she can tell us what she knows about what might have happened, or point us in the right direction. The tribe in Shinoa has their own altar that may very well be just like the one we saw in the cave that we were in. Now, before we go to that, I mentioned that we have a blank spot in our quest log for quest number 1, and they did recommend that we talk to Tia before we leave, so we'll do that. But before we do that, there's one other thing I want to check out. This is another store. This is the Zanzibar firm, named for this fellow right here, Zanzibar. Fine, jerk. We'll be swimming in money eventually and show him. Now at the Zanzibar firm, they are the #1 business in Altago. In spite of that, they don't have too many items for us at the moment, but their shop list expands as the game goes on. As you can see, the items here are rather pricey, but there are a lot of unique, fairly important items to get here. First one on the list is the luck medal. The main thing that this item does is that it increases your chance of getting lucky or rare materials from gather points, and this does stack, so if you have your whole team equipped with them, you will almost certainly get rare materials. It depends a bit on which point you're gathering from, but a lot of them will give you the rare material guaranteed if everybody's equipped with luck medals. That isn't something you always want, but most of the time it's pretty good. Over here is Bandit's Glove. I believe, again, this is a stackable effect. I believe it increases the amount of money you gain from killing enemies by about 20 to 25% or so. Not as helpful as you'd think, but I'll probably pick up 3 of these anyway. This, on the other hand, is actually a special relic type item, which we'll be getting into relics later, but this one, if you equip it, it has the effect of drawing money towards you. We'll definitely want to pick this up as soon as we can, just to be very convenient. This is the sole usable item the Zanzibar firm has, and it's one that I've never bothered using before. Mirror of Time, makes enemies immobile, breaks after 1 use. I will probably check that out later, but yes, the Zanzibar firm. Once we have the money to buy some of those items, we definitely will want to do so. That'll be a bit of a ways off, though. Hey, Maya, just before we go, say something to you. Looks like she's trying to give her sales pitch, but it's a little hard when you cannot speak. Now, before we head out, we gotta get to Old Town to visit Tia real quick, so let's just do that. We will be having a boss fight towards the end of this video, and like before, I've already pre-created a save file that will have us in the right conditions for the fight. Hey, who's this fellow? Seems that he is only identified as elderly man. But it looks like he goes to Tia for help on occasion. We have no desire to impede you, good sir. Oh, don't be so judgmental. Dalian, huh? Ah, so he's sort of like a physician. Okay, cool. What a nice guy. Ah, so it's a bit of a apothecary business going on here. Very astute, Dogie. Longma cart. Hey, you need to deliver something to Shinoa? Well, we're heading that way. Yeah, come on, let's help her. Yeah, let's do so. Haha, Adol is quick on the recovery. Yeah. And this is the first side quest in the game, formally. This is deliver Tia's medicine to Shinoa. And so long as you have this one, this is not something you can fail. Actually, I don't think you can leave without talking to Tia, but I've never bothered to try, so... But whatever the case, we've got the delivery from Tia, so let's now head on our way to Shinoa properly. And we have quite a bit of distance to traverse, though not too much. So get used to hearing the dodge roll sound effect. I'm hoping I have the audio balanced well enough. We're just going to ignore these guys since we don't need to fight them. Heading out into the next area of Altago Plains. As you can see, we've got these bird enemies here. These are the first enemies that we deal with that can spit projectiles at us. Now, off-screen, I did do some item farming and money gathering to buy some new equipment for us, and we'll be showing that off once I load the next save file. But for right now, it's not something to worry about. But things we do want to do is look at new gathering points here. This is a fruit gathering point. Lucky! Oh, lucky! Seeds are actually very uncommon gatherers, but those are Lugat fruit gathering points. And in addition to the Lugat fruits, you can get Lugat seeds. If you remember, we got that side quest to deliver at least one of various types of seeds to that girl, I think her name was Belinda, in the Altago Town Square. So we'll be gathering a bunch of those. There is one other variety of seed that we can get out in the Altago Plains, which is the Eco Seed, which we get from Eco Flowers. There are always two types of flora gathering points. There are fruit, and there are flower gathering points. And if I'm remembering correctly, no, not there. There should be... There it is. This is an eco gathering point. Hey, got the seeds. Of course, I already got those seeds off screen, but no big deal. As you can see, there's the bird being annoying by spitting at me. That's another guy that can drop bone fragments, so that's important to keep in mind. Here we're going to gather some iron ore. Just always grab that, although it's kind of pointless to do so since I'm going to be doing another save. Now, as you can see, that rock there can only be broken by a character who does strike-type damage, so we switch to Dogi and break it, and we get a Vitality Belt here. I'm more of a fan of these in East Memories of Celcido, where you can equip multiple accessories. The Vitality Belt gives you 100 extra HP. Not a bad durability boost, even on Nightmare mode. But I generally prefer the strength bonus at this point, so we're going to stick to having the power wrists on. And honestly, I'm just going to sell the Vitality build, because I'm never going to equip it otherwise. Now, this area off here is not towards Shinoa. Oof, that is one big monster. This is a Titano. As you can see, he is rather impressive looking, and as soon as the cutscene progresses enough, we get his name, the Onehorn Monster, Balkilios. And Balkilios is well beyond our ability to actually, well, Kilios at this point. He is around level 34, I think. As you can see, he's got 34,000 HP. And if I try to hit him, it probably will not do anything. Oop. Yeah, you gotta be careful there. He stomps throughout the shockwaves. Let's just hit him. Yeah, we can't even hurt him at this point. And if we got hit by him, we would be pasted in a single shot. So, yeah, Balkilios, meant to be taken on much later. Ideally in the game's second half, though you can defeat him just before that transition. That's still going to be a long ways off, though. And that was the quest I was talking about that we can technically take on right now, but can't really do it until the second half of the game anyway. Just checking my map here to remember which way I want to go. Over this way, there's going to be some treasure for us. In this chest. Oop. Yeah, let's take this guy out. Oh, don't have a Dogi equipped with his uppercut skill on this file. Let's just throw that on. Hit the... Oh, I don't have enough SP here. Whoops. There we go. Hit him with uppercut. As you can see, just two pretty strong hits there. But this is where Dogi's inflated SP costs start to really add up. As you can see, it takes 25 SP to Adol's 20 SP to use Earthshaker. Here is Hawkeye. This increases your accuracy stat by 10, basically the accuracy equivalent of the power wrist. And I was going to say here, blue chests always have equipable items in them. Brown chests will always have either materials or usable items in them. Now, the Hawkeye and the accessory stat. The accessory stat is something that's kind of unique to this iteration of the East series. As you can see, we also have a dexterity stat. Or an agility stat, rather. Dexterity is the accuracy stat. I kind of am just using different terminology here. But dexterity determines our ability to actually hit enemies. If we miss, sometimes we can just miss outright, or we can get what I like to call sour hits, where we don't miss, but our attacks deal heavily reduced damage. Agility is our ability to dodge attacks. If we have high agility, occasionally enemy attacks will just miss us outright, which can be pretty cool. I'm not really a fan of these stats, just because, obviously, in an action RPG, you kind of should just be able to hit your opponents just by actually visibly connecting with them. And the agility stat can be kind of broken if you pump it up past a certain value, and you just kind of become invincible, so I'm not really crazy about those stats existing, and I understand why they were dropped in later games. We got this kind of large insignia here. Anything we can do something. Not anything we can work with at the moment right now. Keep that in mind for later, though. There's another eco-flowering gather point over there. Keep those in mind. Seeds are actually very important. As you can see, we've got signs pointing us along the way. This sign pointing us towards Shinoa Village, which is to the east. Seeds are very, very important for reasons that'll become apparent later. Right now, they're important for completing that quest that we got. Later in the game, they have a very specific purpose. When you're playing personally, I would highly recommend killing those rock monsters every time you come across them, because the bone fragments they give are very useful, and they have a chance of dropping iron ore, which, like I said, we need tons of. Speaking of, hey, iron ore right there. Now, I haven't gone over it yet, but Dogi also has his own extra skill, and I'll show it off in the next boss fight that we get into. Heading up this way, got some more prairie wood. It is actually very important to collect some prairie wood right now. We want about 10 of it, or we want actually exactly 10 of it for an upcoming side quest, so make sure you have that much prairie wood before we get to the next area. No other treasure over here, another eco-leaf gathering point. Keep that in mind. Again, you want to gather as many seeds as possible. Now, we've actually reached a new area. This is Shinoa Forest, of course, surrounding the town of Shannoa. And as you can see, we've got quite a few new enemies here. In addition to the fauna of Altago attacking us, as you can probably surmise, the flora will also be attacking us. This is not stuff that we can gather. But hey, let's kill it. So yeah, we got these flower enemies here. These guys are slash weak, so stick to having Adel attack them. There are going to be some more strike weak enemies here also. Here we've got eco-leafs, or got eco-leaves from the enemies. These are Kimona flowers, and of course we get Kimona seeds from them also. We're already doing pretty good on seeds here. We got 3 to turn in. We do not get too much in the way of rewards here. Oof, that was unlucky. As you can see, that snake enemy can poison us, and it drops iron ore. That's actually pretty nice. Over here we've got fruit. We got Kamika fruit. Kamika fruits, and more particularly Kamika seeds, very, very important. If you can think to go for it, collect as many Kamika seeds as possible. It is very, very handy later in the game. But yeah, watch out for these snakes. Do not like getting poisoned. Poisoned is a pretty persistent status element. It works like how you'd expect. We take damage over time. Ailments in this game do wear off after a while. You don't specifically need an item to cure them. As you can see, this water point has cloudy water for us to gather as the rare material. Before heading to the left there, we want to head right. Open up, if I can, take out this flower. This is a strike weak enemy, so we want to switch to Dogi. As you can see, Dogi is pretty good about knocking enemies out of their attack animations. This has a power wrist for us, and we're going to be getting a third party member before long, so we do actually want that power wrist in order to be able to equip them and make them that much stronger. Heading this way, just going to be ignoring any enemies that are not in the way of treasure that I want to collect. What's happening? Getting a bit of a scene here. Huh? Who's that? Well, we have business, my good friend. That voice, though, sounds like a kid. Oh, it is because it is a kid. It's an interesting weapon he's got there. I'm guessing he knows how to handle himself in a fight if he's walking around in this forest with that weapon. Hey, we know how to handle ourselves. Oh, we've seen a couple already. Yep, got it right here. Ah, so this is the grandson of the Eldris. Yeah, sure. What do you want with it? Want it for? Yep, Sign sealed. Hey, wait, what? Sticky fingers. Ah, man. Man, I can't believe we just got swindled by a 10-year-old. So much for teaching the youth manners in Shinoa. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe it's just him. But, yeah, we gotta get after him. We need that letter. How can we introduce ourselves to the Eldris if we don't have it? As you can see here, got another chest. Let's just open this up. If you are surrounded by enemies, your interact function will be blocked out, so you can't actually open the chest. And over here, I want to take these... Yeah, I actually do want to take these guys out so we can get that. Let's just be a little careful here. Took a few too many hits, although the poison definitely did not help. There we go. Let's just take some iron ore off of that guy. I said take some iron ore. Speaking of iron ore, this is an ore gathering point, but as you can see, we can get a rare material from it, charcoal. Charcoal is the unique mineral to the Shinoa region, and is also a material that we can turn into Michael Wooten at the bar in Altago to advance his side quest. So make sure you have at least one of those on hand before you leave this area. Charcoal is going to be pretty important, as there's going to be a handful of synthesis items coming up that require it. And that'll be a trend. Hey, there was a monument there. There's also kind of an interesting shrine here. It's old and looks lonely, though. There is also... Oh, what was I going to say? That is a trend for every area we're going to be getting. Each area is going to have a unique ore-type material, and that'll be important for synthesizing a lot of the gear that we get access to in that area. I want to take these enemies out so we can gather some wood here. There we go. Take care of them, no problem. This is the wood gathering point, and we can get saplings from this. Saplings, the unique wood material for the Shinoa Forest. We will, again, like the prairie wood, want 10 of those. Over this way. Got another chest here. Gonna have to take this guy out. Yeah, I was not paying attention to my aim there. Combat in this game, completely free flow, so you cannot really target your attacks very well. Though the characters do kind of automatically orient themselves. Here we get a shield ring, plus 10 defense. Honestly, not a terrible bonus at this point in the game, but I still prefer the power risk, so I probably will just end up selling that. Do not really care for shield rings, and once we're able to afford better armor, those provide sufficient enough boosts anyway. And here we are at the stone monument at the midway point of the Shinoa Forest, but of course we are not adequately prepared for the fight here, so let's just load up this save right here that will have us adequately prepared. Here I've got a longsword and a spiked steel guard for Adol and Dogi. I've also got a chainmail on Adol to give him a little bit more defense. As you can see, Dogi kind of languishing in the armor department. Doesn't have actual armor, doesn't have a shield, but we will be getting him some eventually. I just don't feel it's worth it at this point. Also got a couple skills from our new weapons here. Adol has Running Slash, a good offensive and defensive maneuver, and Dogi has Bash, which is probably his best spammable level 1 skill, which we'll probably get a chance to see at some point. But with that out of the way, let's head in here and get after that kid. Alright, kid, give it up. I'm trying to find the right words to say here without sounding weird. Oh, jerk. Sounds like karma is approaching. Yeah, this is karma put on some weight recently. I'm guessing this is one of the Titanos that they've been dealing with in the Shinoa area recently. Well, we can't leave a kid to die, even if he is a brat. Come on, Dogi, let's save him. Alright, we got this. Now, before we start this fight proper, I'm actually gonna switch to Dogi real quick, but we've got our next boss here, the long-tusked boar, Esgalion. Let's switch to Dogi, and see if I can do this right. We're gonna let Esgalion just kinda do his thing. Oh, screwed up there. Trying to flash guard it. We want to do a flash guard for what I'm about to do. Yes! Here is Dogi's ultimate skill, Power Strike. One weak hit followed by a big explosion that does huge damage. As you can see, I did the flash guard there to get the extra skill to be critical. And you always want to do flash guards before you utilize extra skills. That way you can get the most damage out. Hey, we knocked him over. When he does that lunging attack, you can hit him with moves to knock him over. There we go. And let's, he's already at stun. Alright, let's hit him and gather up a bunch of SP here. We actually do not need to conserve our SP. He does not have a rush-type maneuver to use on us. But yeah, as you saw, Dogi's power hit does huge damage on the final hit there. And there is flash guard chaining. You want to chain your flash guards together when getting hit with moves that are really active like that. Alright, now he's going into his next phase. As you can see, he can bounce around the arena. Oof, being not so good there. The reason I'm not playing as Dogi is because, like I've mentioned previously, his dodge covers shorter distance than Adol's and is slower. And when the boss starts jumping around, there we go. Dogi cannot dodge that consistently with his dodge roll. You'd have to flash guard repeatedly, which is a heck of a lot harder. And since he doesn't have any armor, that could put him in a very precarious situation. As you can see, when you're in Asgalion's face, he likes to spin like that. Let's do a couple more Earthshakers. If I ever accidentally call Earthshaker Stun Raid, that's because that's the name of the equivalent move in East Memories of Celceta. One thing to note about Asgalion is when you knock him down, if you hit him with Earthshaker or Running Slash at certain angles, you can actually launch him into the air and start juggling him. He'll break out of the juggle once his stun gauge maxes out, but it can be a pretty good way to deal good damage to him without taking any damage in return. As you can see, I'm not very consistent about flash guarding his charge attack. It's kind of embarrassing because it's his easiest attack. That is also pretty easy to flash guard. Good opportunity to seek there. Alright, let's... Yes, there we go. As you can see, we weren't able to refill our extra gauge. At this point in the game, you can't really expect to use more than one extra skill per boss encounter, but that will change later in the game. But yeah, that was... oof, that was kind of rough. Talk's a big game. Your quivering betrays your confidence. But he is at least thankful, and he returns the king's letter to us. Thank you. Maybe you aren't so bad after all, kid. And Adol, he's a humble hero. He just thanks him. Dogi is considerably less patient with the youth. And of course, Adol just introduces himself through green text. Is he a 4chan poster or something? And this is Elk. He is quite sure of himself. Something tells me he's not very respectful of his Eldris. Sounds like he is doing some extracurricular work. Oh, Adol's got a much more affectionate nickname there than Dogi does. Dogi is at least bemused at his irreverence. Alright, let's go. We got our letter back. We defeated a boss on the way. Let's make it to Shinoa Village before we call it a video here. There's no new enemies along the way, so we will just continue. At this point, I actually do want to consistently gather from gathering points, though, since this will be data that is getting saved. So let's get those Kamika fruits. Again, the real prize is the seeds. We want those seeds. And Dogi has learned Bash. Let me just show that off. Bash, as you can see, comes out pretty quickly. It does pretty good damage, too, so if you're playing as Dogi a lot, that's probably his skill to spam at this point. They're just showing off how when enemies are stunned, they take full damage from your attacks. That's actually something that Earthshaker is good for, is if you don't feel like switching around the characters a lot, you can just spam Earthshaker and make them stunned so that Adol can hurt them also. One very annoying thing about gathering points in this game is that if enemies are nearby, your party members love to prioritize the enemies, even if they can't actually reach them. So that interrupts their gathering, and it's honestly very annoying in certain areas where there are enemies where it just takes too much time to go for them, but your party members will insist on tracking them down, and that just gets in the way of actually gathering stuff. Thankfully, Dogi's helping us get the Kaladi Waters here. Hey, a new type of healing item, Marula Incense. Incenses are special types of healing items. Instead of curing a single ally, they restore HP to all your allies. Best way to get the most mileage out of these is to, of course, when one of your party members is close to death, just switch to another one, and when everybody's close to death, you can pop the incense, heal them all in one fell swoop. Not really worth to use normally, because in this game, your party members take heavily reduced damage, and they're actually rather good at dodging attacks, save for ones that really mess with their AI. Now you may notice the number on the incense is yellow. You can only hold one of each incense, so you gotta make sure you use those intelligently, because you do not get multiples for any given encounter. Moving on our way here, this is actually Shannoa. Suppose that monument isn't quite at the halfway point, more like the 2/3 mark. Now, I will probably be going back and doing some fighting just to gain a couple levels and get some materials and junk. I did actually take note of the levels I defeated every boss at, so that's what I'm going to be shooting for when I actually reach boss encounters, is get to those levels that I was at when I was playing personally. And honestly, in those situations, I was just kind of playing the game normally, fighting everything I come across. But yeah, here we are in Shinoa. One thing we'll want to check out over here is the item shop, see what we can make, and now that we've gotten some new materials, we can probably synthesize some junk, but we'll save that for next video. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you next time. We will be meeting the Eldris Fatima, and hopefully she will guide us to the altar that we were told about. Until then, goodbye.